Lamina, I'm with a guy who knows that rivalry fairly well, huh?
A little bit.
Pretty intense game, would you say?
I would say the moment you step foot on campus, that's the rivalry you hear about.
You can feel it right away.
Right away.
Oh, man,
yeah.
It'd be cool to be there. And now, I'm curious, though, because of how intense it is and how important it is, how does it affect things that both of these teams are coming off a loss? Is this something that adds more pressure and they feel it's harder to do your thing, or is it sort of like a way to refocus everything?
Well, I think it's more pressure. I think they both these teams right now, they need this victory because the loss, you know, puts them at 2 losses already down in the Big Ten race, and you don't want it's early. I think it's really crucial for Iowa, though. Minnesota has some confidence going in this game. I mean, they lost in overtime to Penn State, and they actually had Penn State beat. So they have a lot more confidence going in this game. Iowa right now is reeling. They have no confidence going right now. They have some things they have to work on besides their X's and O's, and that's to gain their confidence back they had in the first 2 games of the year.
So does that make this a must-win for Iowa?
It does, absolutely. They have some problems right now, like I said, with team confidence. You know, they have to regain that somehow, some way, starting with C.J. Beathard, you know, as a quarterback. You know, he's just not going through his progressions like he used to last year. Now, here's an example of him. He's in the pocket. Last year, he would run the ball for the first down here. In this case, he throws the ball to a late in the flat for a big interception to end the game, and they're just not protecting him very well right now. There's really no help with the tackles there, and they're sacking him, hitting him early. He's taken a beating, far too many hits early in the year, so he's lost some confidence right now in the pocket. He's got to gain that back.
Iowa certainly doesn't want to pick up their 3rd loss when we're not even halfway through October. But could you also argue, for different reasons, it's a must-win for Minnesota?
Oh, absolutely. Again, it gets back to my statement of, hey, you know, they just lost to Penn State, and a loss with them, it's going to be tough to stay in that West race,
right.
You know, the loser of this game. So it is a huge game for both teams, you know, coming off losses, their first loss in the Big Ten.
You know, it's interesting for both of them, especially this past week. It seems they've found a new go-to wide receiver on each side.
Right. Well, yeah, you know, Minnesota, starting with them, they found Brian Smith. You know, Brian, really, when you defense Minnesota, it's defending that running game of Rodney Smith and Shannon Brooks, and then Drew Wolotarski. Those are the 3 you had to stop. All of a sudden, Brian Smith comes alive against Penn State. Now you're Iowa. Okay, you can't just double up on Wolotarski. Now you have Brian Smith and this run game to deal with.
Yeah.
And then for Iowa, Riley McCarron came through for him. But I still think they need to get George Kittle involved, their tight end.
Yeah, we haven't heard his name that much.
Have not, and that really, your tight end stems off your run game. When your run game is going well, your tight end becomes more of a focus in the pass game because those linebackers suck up on the run game, and ooh, you get your tight end down the seam. That's not been happening for Iowa. That needs to happen moving forward.
And they had Matt Vandenberg, who was having a very nice season. All of a sudden, he's injured out for the year. We mentioned McCarron. He had 6 receptions all year, then 8 last week. So
that was big.
He certainly showed he could surprise everybody and be an effective player.